Joined on the talkback this evening, Dr. Phillip Cartwright, who after 3 years at Bowling Green State University saying goodbye and 45 years in higher education. How difficult is it going to be for you to say goodbye to not only BG, but higher education in general?
It's going to be very difficult because I have a real passion for public higher education. I'm a first-generation to college student who worked her way through college. It wouldn't have happened for me had I not had a public university nearby, and I've always been drawn to that public mission that is very much a part of public higher education.
And that's got to be a tough mission these days with budget cuts. And how have you tried to deal with not only budget cuts themselves, but trying to make sure that every BG student gets a good education? We
are very careful about retaining accessibility and affordability, and we want to make sure that people know that even though Ohio is a state where we have slightly higher tuition, we also have deep commitments to making sure we help students find scholarships and financial aid that helps them understand what the net price is, how they can drive the price down by applying scholarships and grants, for example.
Okay,
it's a very important part of what we do.
So you kind of took what they gave you and said, all right, we have some alternatives here, and we can work with you a little bit. So it almost seems like your job changes a little bit.
Well, as you look around the country, if you have very high state support, you have low tuition, and vice versa. And historically, Ohio has had lower state support and has expected students to pick up more of the cost of their own education. Be good if we could drive it to 50-50. That's not where it is right now. But in this tough economic environment, the state's done a good job for us. It's not easy, but given all of the cuts that all agencies have experienced, we feel like we've made a good case and we've been protected.
What is there one thing that you're most proud of that you did while you're at BGSU?
Well, there are several, but I think I would drive it down to building a great team, because when you build a great team, you can get a lot done in a very short period of time. The world's too complex. Nobody really can be fully in charge of anything, even though they might think they can be. So a great team of really strong people. We've built a new strategic plan, a new master plan for facilities, the most construction ever in our history.
And that's amazing to me with the down economy the way it is. Dining facilities, residential facilities, the Stroh Center. You seem to be able to work it all in a tight budget. Is there a secret you want to pass on to the next person?
It really isn't rocket science. We've used a number of different funding sources. We have some state support and private donations in our big, wonderful new Wolf Center for the Arts. We have wonderful private support, and our students voted in a fee to help pay for the construction of the Stroh Center. The dining centers and the residential facilities will be paid for by the users. So we sell bonds and then retire those bonds over time from the fees that the users pay to live in the halls, use the dining services, and so forth. But to have it all going on at the same time, that's very unusual and impressive.
It's very impressive, and, especially if you go down there and check it out.
It takes a great team of people to do that.
Well, we thank you for your time this evening, and we thank you for your service to not only BG, but higher education in general.
Thank you.
Dr. Cartwright, thank you very much for your time, and that's your talk back.